One is a young military leader who took over with fire in his heart. The other, a seasoned political godfather who finally got the throne. But between Ibrahim Traoré and Bola Tinubu, who is better? Let's break it down with receipts. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamna William, and in today's video we're going to be comparing the Nigerian's President Bola Tinubu and Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traoré. So if this is the kind of video you're interested in, please sit back, relax. We're diving into the video right now. Ibrahim Traoré took over as president of Burkina Faso at just 34 years old, young, bold and fearless. Now compare that to Tinubu, who became Nigeria's president in his 70s after decades in politics. While Traoré connects easily with African youth, Tinubu is seen by many as part of the old elite, a system that the young generation wants to dismantle. Ibrahim Traoré fights with his men. He's a captain not just in his title but in action. Meanwhile, Tinubu climbed through the politics, deals, godfather networks and party control. Let's not forget the drama that happened in Nigeria's 2023 election. Many Nigerians believe that the election was not free and fair. Traoré kicked out the French troops. He said Africa must control its own resources. Burkina Faso even cut ties with French media and is now building alliances with Russia and Turkey. Tinubu, on the other hand, still playing IMF and World Bank rules, fuel subsidy removed, currency floated, and Nigerians are still suffering. Moving on to the public's trust. People trust Ibrahim Traoré. He eats with the people, wears what the army wears, speaks directly, no long grammar. On the other hand, Tinubu is always surrounded by hefty security men, rarely seen on the streets. People even remember EndSARS and how silent Tinubu was during EndSARS, and still silent concerning the happenings that is going on in Nigeria as compared to Ibrahim Traoré. Now to the economic impact. Burkina Faso is facing sanctions, yet Traoré is keeping the fuel prices low and pushing for self-sufficiency. Nigeria, under Tinubu, fuel prices have tripled, the naira has collapsed, food is expensive, and the people are struggling. Across all social media platforms such as TikTok and Twitter, and even the streets, African youth see Traoré as a hero, but Tinubu, even before his election, young Nigerians weren't buying in. The slogan "Emile Con" became a meme, not in a good way. Now we'll be discussing on how they both came into power. Traoré overthrew a government that was failing to protect the people from terrorists. Burkina Faso was bleeding, villages being wiped out, and people welcomed the coup because they were tired. Tinubu came into power in 2023 through a Nigerian election, an election so controversial, even international observers raised eyebrows. There were issues with the beavers, delays, violence, and ballot box snatching. Yes, Traoré's rise wasn't democratic, but many feel like he was very necessary. Tinubu's rise, some say it was strategic manipulation. Leadership isn't about suits and long grammar. It's about being present, and it's about having action. Traoré is out there, working among soldiers, visiting frontline communities, dressing like his people and speaking directly to them, while Tinubu, on the other hand, is barely seen in public unless it's a scripted event. His cabinet does most of the talking, and half of the time the people don't even know who to hold accountable. Traoré is hands-on, Tinubu is remote-controlled, according to some critics. So what do you think? Is Traoré really a revolutionary, or is he just benefiting from an anti-establishment hype? Is Tinubu the experienced elder Africa needs, or just another recycled politician? Hit the comment, guys. Let's have this conversation as Africans. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more no-filter, no-fade political commentary. This is the voice of a new generation. Stay woke. So guys, I'll be leaving you guys with a few videos of Traoré, an interview that he granted, and just people speaking out and people just showing their love to him. Okay, so yeah, I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.
A long discussion about how long you will stay and when you will organize elections. How long will the transition last? Is it today? Do you have an answer to this, or do you think it is not a priority? For you, how long will Captain Ibrahim Traoré be in charge before organizing elections to step down?
I was going to ask you a question in return before answering you.
I'm not here to answer questions.
Sir, it's a debate. It's nice. If today, in 6 months, we decided to abandon the people, you, as a very objective man, aware of our situation, what would you say? What would your comment be?
Honestly, I prefer to stick to that, even though you know my true thoughts.
All right. Since we've been here, we haven't taken a single day off. The whole exec.
But when you say that, politicians say, this is our job, since there are those who do it. They do their job. We want to return to democracy. We want to go back to parliament with people who are elected. We want to let the people speak. Are we staying like this or setting up a new model? They learned here. We don't want them learning elsewhere and applying it here.
To put them on the right track. They learned their profession. This profession is... We don't want people to learn this profession elsewhere and come apply it here. We want to create a model. Because the way things are done here is in fact not the right way.
For you, sir, President, there's no question of talking about organization, about elections and transition.
Yes, we're going to organize the local elections right now.
So we need to reset everything.
No. Aside from the system that's in place, which needs to be reviewed, the elections, they concern all of Burkina Faso. Do you think they are ready today to go to Soleil, to Falangonto, to campaign like... But they are Burkina-based. They must definitely vote.
First, we need to get the wire through.
There needs to be a minimum level of security so that if there's a campaign, people can go everywhere in Burkina, explain their ideas to the Burkinabe people, and the people will choose, because it's no longer about distributing goods. There will be reforms on the electoral code. It's over, that's it. If you get caught up in this, you will be disqualified. Well, I'm not going to get ahead of Iran in the water, but I can tell you that there are reforms coming. This way of doing things, of buying people's consciences, is over. Our mission is to awaken people's consciousness so that they never accept this again. If you think you can govern the country, you need to explain your political program. What are you going to do? And maybe after a while, the people will evaluate whether you should continue your term or not. In short, we won't say everything, but there will be reforms in the electoral system. And to participate in the elections, all Burkinabés must vote.
Ibrahim Traoré is setting a standard, he's setting an example, and he's setting a pace that puts the rest of Africa to shame. I mean, I told UCT students the other day, you have me here talking about decolonization and decoloniality and all of that. You go from one conference to the other. But are we doing anything about it? I don't see Traoré calling conferences. I just see him making decisions and say, what decoloniality is this: I'm taking our control of our minerals, I'm taking control of this, taking control of that, I'm switching our allegiances because I find more possibilities here than I do there. I'm walking away from France, I'm breaking the ties and the chokehold of coloniality through France in my country. I'm giving my young people new opportunities. I'm giving them a new vision. He's a young man with a vision. No other African leader. Well, maybe now, those who are being awakened by him. But that kind of singular vision, that kind of singular dedication, that kind of way, you say, if I want to create a revolution that serves my people, I first have to learn to love my people. He has that. I sense that in Sankara. I sense that in the leaders. I sense that in Julius Nyerere.
We knew this all along, but the world needed to see it as well. So Ibrahim Traoré is the proof we needed to show the world how wicked our leaders are. Wicked. You've been in office for what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years? With nothing to show for your people. This man came into office for 2 years. 2! He is manufacturing everything from his country. Detergent, soap, tomato, grains, pasta, cars, electric cars, and now an airline, Burkina Faso airline. At this point, there's really nothing else left to say. You all gotta go. All of you gotta go. There's no exception.